Good morning. Mike Grill here, hoping this day finds you happy, healthy, and whole. And what I'd like to address this morning is take the concept of collective trauma that my peer and good friend Dr. Michael Marks has spoken to in other blogs and address it at the family level. Just as a recap, collective trauma are those events that happen to us as a society that basically changes the fabric of who we are. I think 9/11 is the best example when that occurred. And what caused me to start pondering this was a conversation back in 2002 when I was at the National Emergency Training Center in Emmitsburg, Maryland, teaching a 2-week course. And that evening I was having dinner with a good friend of mine, Kevin, who at the time was the chief officer for a large county fire department on the West Coast. So Kevin and I were getting caught up, checking and asking about our families, and I asked how his family was. And he started telling me the story of one of his children, who I believe at the time was 11, maybe 12 years old, and how she had started exhibiting some behavioral changes mysteriously in the last 6 months. Kevin went on to say that they had gone to counseling finally after noticing there was a drop in grades and changes in behavior. And one thing led to another. And out of that counseling session, Kevin told me was the fact that 9/11 had had a profound impact on his daughter. Specifically, what it boiled down to was this. His daughter was fearful that she was going to lose her dad, in this case Kevin, because of the number of firefighters that were killed in 9/11. So she basically thought that this was going to happen to her dad as well. But what caused me to be thunderstruck was when Kevin went on to tell me that that's not all. It also came to the surface that his daughter was not only fearful for losing him, her father, but her mother as well. Kevin's wife was at the time a United Airlines flight attendant. So sit back and just think about that. It's something I would have never pieced together. That, yes, it makes sense that we lost 343 firefighters during 9/11. But we also, and we don't talk about this enough, lost flight crews across the East Coast that morning because of that same tragedy. So if that wasn't enough to put shivers down my spine, here's what did. As he was telling me the story, of course, being a firefighter and being in the fire service at the time, I could relate to my kids and their thoughts about that happening to me. But what I didn't piece together was the fact that my wife, too, was at the time a flight attendant for a major carrier here in the United States. And I had this aha experience going, oh my goodness, I wonder what 9/11 and the impact this might be having on my own family, my own kids. So as soon as I could get back to home, back to Arizona, I went ahead and sat down and had a conversation with the kids about how that would affect them as it affected them. But what it did was raise awareness of how tragedies and collective trauma, if you will, can impact not only us on a personal level and at a societal level, but we have to be aware of how it's impacting those that we are closest to, in this case, family and our children. The importance of understanding that, and whenever we see something that's happening in our society that is defined as collective trauma, let's be aware of the impact it's having on everyone that we love. So thank you for listening. Please, as always, make a choice this week to remain happy, healthy, and whole. Thank you.